Imagine this. You've spent 15 years building wealth, diligently investing in equity mutual funds, buying property at the right time, contributing to your NPS. And then one afternoon in July, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman stands up in Parliament and in exactly 2 hours, rewrites every single rule you've been playing by. Your long-term capital gains? Taxed more. That beautiful indexation benefit that protected your real estate profits from inflation? Gone. Vanished. Just like that. Welcome to Budget 2024, my friends. The budget that shook every Indian investor to their core. Now here's the thing. Social media exploded with outrage. News channels ran prime-time debates. WhatsApp forwards declared the end of wealth creation in India. But amidst all this noise, the real question got buried. What do these changes actually mean for your money? For your financial goals? For your retirement plans? Today, we are cutting through the chaos. No political commentary. No sensationalism. Just pure, actionable financial clarity. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how much more tax you'll pay, which investments got hit the hardest, and most importantly, what smart moves you should make right now to protect and grow your wealth. Because knowledge isn't just power in personal finance. It's money. Real money. So let's decode Budget 2024, one game-changing provision at a time. Let's start with the change that hit equity investors right in the gut. Long-term capital gains tax on equity mutual funds and stocks has been increased from 10% to 12.5%. Now I know what you're thinking. It's just 2.5%, Mahayukti, why the drama? Let me show you why this matters with real numbers. Say you invested 10 lakh rupees 5 years ago in an equity mutual fund. It's now worth 25 lakhs. Your profit is 15 lakhs. Under the old rules, after the 1 lakh exemption, you'd pay 10% on 14 lakhs. That's 1,40,000 in taxes. Under the new rules, 12.5% on 14 lakhs means 1,75,000. You're paying 35,000 rupees extra in taxes on just this one investment. Now multiply this across your entire portfolio. Across decades of investing. The numbers become massive. But here's the twist nobody's talking about. The exemption limit has also increased from 1 lakh to 1,25,000 rupees per year. So if your gains are relatively small, you're actually slightly better off. Short-term capital gains on equity also jumped from 15% to 20%. This is huge for traders and those who exit positions before 1 year. The government's message is crystal clear. They want you to stay invested longer. They want you to think twice before booking those quick profits. The tax arbitrage between short-term and long-term has widened, making patience more rewarding than ever. Now we arrive at the most controversial change of Budget 2024. The removal of indexation benefits for long-term capital gains on property and debt instruments. First, let me explain what we lost. Indexation was a beautiful mechanism that adjusted your purchase price for inflation before calculating capital gains. So if you bought a property for 50 lakhs in 2014 and sold it for 1 crore in 2024, indexation would inflate your purchase price to say 75 lakhs, reducing your taxable gain to just 25 lakhs instead of 50 lakhs. This was massive for real estate investors. Now here's what changed. The government removed indexation entirely but reduced the LTCG tax rate on property from 20% to 12.5%. On paper, it sounds like a fair trade. In reality, It depends entirely on how long you held the property and how much inflation occurred during that period. Let me give you the brutal math. For properties held less than 5 to 7 years, the new system might actually be beneficial. Lower tax rate, simpler calculation. But for properties held 10, 15, 20 years, the removal of indexation is devastating. Your real taxable gain shoots up dramatically, and even the lower rate can't compensate. The government did introduce a grandfathering provision allowing sellers to choose between old and new methods for properties bought before July 2024. But for future purchases, you're locked into the new system. This fundamentally changes how we should think about real estate as an investment in India. The inflation protection is gone forever. Now let's talk about the change that affects every single earning Indian. The revised income tax slabs under the new tax regime. Here's what the new structure looks like. Income up to 3 lakhs, 0 tax. 3 to 7 lakhs, 5%. 7 to 10 lakhs, 10%. 10 to 12 lakhs, 15%. 12 to 15 lakhs, 20%. Above 15 lakhs, 30%. The standard deduction has also been increased from 50,000 to 75,000 rupees under the new regime. This means if you're a salaried employee earning around 15 lakhs per annum, you're saving about 17,000 rupees more in taxes compared to last year. Sounds great, right? But here's where it gets complicated. The new regime still doesn't allow most deductions. No ATC benefits for your PPF, ELSS, or life insurance. No HRA exemption. No home loan interest deduction under Section 24. So the million-rupee question remains. Should you switch to the new regime? Let me give you a simple framework. If your total deductions under the old regime exceed to 2.5 lakhs, the old regime might still be better for you. If you're a minimalist investor who doesn't maximize deductions anyway, the new regime offers simplicity and lower base rates. Calculate both scenarios with your actual numbers. Don't just follow what your colleague or neighbor is doing. Your tax situation is unique to your income, investments, and lifestyle. Amidst all the tax increases, Budget 2024 did bring some genuine good news for retirement planners. The national pension system got a significant boost. For private sector employees, the limit for employer contribution deduction under Section 80C CD2 has been increased from 10% to 14% of basic salary. Let me translate this into real impact. If your basic salary is 50,000 per month, that's 6 lakhs per year. Earlier, your employer could contribute up to 60,000 annually with full tax deduction for you. Now, that limit is 84,000. An additional 24,000 in tax-free retirement contribution every single year. Over a 25-year career, assuming 8% returns, this change alone could add 15 to 20 lakhs to your retirement corpus. That's the power of compounding small policy changes. But wait, there's a catch. Your employer has to actually increase their contribution. This isn't automatic free money. You might need to negotiate this as part of your compensation restructuring. For government employees, the benefit is even larger since their employer contribution limits have historically been higher. The government is clearly signaling that NPS should be a cornerstone of Indian retirement planning. The tax benefits are now unmatched by almost any other instrument. If you haven't started contributing to NPS yet, this budget just made it significantly more attractive. The combination of Section 80C CD1 and 1B deductions, plus the enhanced employer contribution limit, creates a powerful tax-saving and wealth-building combination. Now let's address what didn't change in this budget but continues to affect millions of conservative investors. Debt mutual fund taxation. In 2023, the government removed the indexation benefit for debt funds and mandated that all gains be taxed at your income tax slab rate, regardless of holding period. Many investors hoped Budget 2024 would reverse this decision. It didn't. Your debt fund returns continue to be taxed as regular income. If you're in the 30% tax bracket, you're giving away almost one-third of your debt fund gains to the government. This makes debt mutual funds significantly less attractive compared to alternatives. Let me explain the practical implications. A debt fund giving 7% returns effectively gives you only 4.9% post-tax if you're in the highest bracket. Meanwhile, PPF gives you 7.1% completely tax-free. Fixed deposits in certain banks now offer over 7% with some tax efficiency through timing. The message is clear. For conservative investors in higher tax brackets, debt mutual funds have lost their edge. Consider maximizing PPF contributions, exploring RBI floating rate bonds, and looking at tax-free bonds in the secondary market. However, debt funds still make sense for certain situations. If you're in lower tax brackets, if you need high liquidity, or if you're using them for short-term tactical allocation, they remain useful tools. The key is understanding that the tax advantage that made debt funds special for over a decade is gone. Adjust your fixed income strategy accordingly. Okay, we've covered a lot of ground. Now let's bring it all together into a clear action plan you can implement starting today. First, review your equity holding periods. With higher LTCG and STCG rates, tax loss harvesting becomes more valuable. Consider booking losses to offset gains before financial year end. Second, rethink real estate investments. Without indexation, property needs to generate higher returns to justify the illiquidity and high transaction costs. REITs and real estate-focused mutual funds might offer better risk-adjusted returns with easier exit options. Third, do a fresh old versus new regime calculation. Use the actual numbers from your latest salary slip and investment statements. Don't rely on last year's analysis since the goalposts have moved. Fourth, talk to your HR about increasing NPS employer contributions. The 14% limit is there. Make sure you're utilizing it fully. This is free retirement money with incredible tax benefits. Fifth, restructure your fixed income allocation. Consider increasing PPF contributions to the 1.5 lakh maximum. Look at EPF voluntary contributions. Explore sovereign gold bonds for partial debt replacement with better tax treatment. Sixth, and most importantly, don't panic sell anything. These tax changes are significant, but they don't fundamentally alter the case for long-term equity investing. 12.5% LTCG is still far better than 30% income tax on interest income. Stay invested. Stay disciplined. Let compounding work. If you found this analysis valuable, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I'm committed to helping you navigate every financial twist and turn. Until next time, keep building wealth. Keep learning. And remember, your financial freedom is worth fighting for.